There was this really interesting special. You ever watch ESPN 30 for 30? Mm-hmm. Did you see the one about Nike and basketball sneakers?
No. So
essentially, Nike had a guy that they hired, and their goal was to, in college basketball, players can have shoe deals, right? It's illegal. It's illegal to pay players, period, in college basketball. So this guy said, I'm going to show you how you get all this, all the footage, because all these games are broadcast on TV. Mm-hmm. I'm going to show you how we're going to get all these players to wear Nike basketball shoes.
Supply the whole team.
Nope. They started putting the coaches on payroll.
So now that's not illegal.
That's not illegal.
Right.
So you essentially had Nike paying coaches more than the school was paying the coaches. So you'd have a Nike coach.
Right.
And to go along with having a Nike coach, they would have sneakers for the entire team.
Right.
Now, those players did not have to wear those sneakers.
Right, but of course, they were new and they wanted to wear them. You're getting free sneakers as a kid.
And the coach is subtly telling you, wear these sneakers.
Right. They're going to help your game.
Fuck these Reeboks and these Adidas and
Converse or whatever. Converse. Back in the days, it was all about Converse.
Right, but then, now Converse is owned by Nike, so.
Really? I didn't know that.
You know that?
Nah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it went on to once he kind of established all that, then he started going after the high school coaches.
Right.
And then the high school coaches became Nike coaches. And he had this massive network and so forth. And what had happened was, at one point, Nike fired him because some power struggle happened or whatever else. So he went on to Adidas, right? And he basically had LeBron, and this is when he started to focus on high school at this point. So he basically had this really close relationship with LeBron's mom. He was living out there and really kind of, he knew that LeBron was going to be the next big thing. Mm-hmm. So his thing was, he told LeBron's mom that LeBron's going to get $100 million from Adidas for his shoe deal. They set up a big thing, a big mansion and whatever else. It's going to be this big grand signing. And he flipped over the paperwork, and instead of $100 million, it said $70 million. Someone at Adidas basically second-guessed him and undercut the deal that he had promised them.
And fucked it all up. And they could have had LeBron.
Nike came in with $90 million, and he went with Nike.
Wow.
And the rest is history.
Sucker shit. Wow.
But if you do remember, though, and this is because I had interviewed my man Mayer yesterday, who has, I don't know if you know who this is, he has this $750,000 sneaker collection. And, he devoted his life to sneakers.
I saw an interview where you had the first Nike sneaker, old beat up $100,000 sneaker.
Yeah, different guy. That's Jordy, who owns this thing called Shoeseum. This other guy, Mayer, who lives over in Jersey. If you remember, Kobe actually signed to Adidas first, and then went on to Nike. The Adidas Crazy 8, that was a Kobe sneaker.
Okay.
Then he went on to Nike. So, but it'd be interesting to see. We'll never know what would have happened if LeBron was Adidas all the way. Adidas might be a hotter brand right now.
And then it's funny how Adidas and Puma even started. Those two are fucking brothers that got beef.
Oh, really?
You didn't know that?
Didn't know that.
Adidas and Puma, they come from a family, I guess, that was making sneakers or shoes or some shit. And that was back in when they, you know what I mean? I mean, when they both kind of came out at the same time. They were both like hot sneakers at the same time. Turns out it's the same fucking family.
This shoe is worth how much you think right now?
I think it's easily worth $100,000. Easily.
So this is a $100,000 shoe that's in front of you right now.
There's just not any other out there.
I wore a pair of 7s on a red carpet, And I think that it was the fact that it was Tahiri, and she, wore tight dresses and, wore heels everywhere and was seen as this sex symbol. And she walked in with a pair of tights, a pair of sevens,